may ask us to return anyway, seeing that we don't have her in tow. I mean, our main priority was to help free those guardsmen. That was it.
Ah, but they can't keep us from going back into the forest, really.
True.
We need to rest and resupply.
Well,
Okay.
Sounds like we're heading back then, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Off we go.
Okay, so you make your way down the path until eventually you see the fence come into view. It's an extremely welcome sight. You make your way through the gates that sections off where the Veil of Sadness begins, and yeah, you all breathe a big sigh of relief as you come back into normal forest. There's
Oh my
still
god, I
sunlight
thought it
streaming
was
through
going
the
to be,
trees.
and then you find yourself back in the clearing again.
The Lost Woods!
We Nan quest
Oh
now.
god, I thought it was going to be Nun Quest.
Oh no. Freak out of the gravity of the situation.
Right. Oh,
So yeah, with that,
Well,
you're out of the Veil of Sadness.
we made it out of the Veil of Sadness. That's something.
That's a start, but we still have people that we need to get out of the Huskow.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Okay, you spend the next hour or so making your way back out east towards Fensholt. Is there anything you do on the way?
I think Tell's pretty keen to just get going, and I might just ask. Gilly, was it? Do you mind if I ask what you wanted from this Razzle?
Oh, I wanted help with an illusion. It was probably a long shot. She probably couldn't have helped me anyway, but I figured, you know, false hope is better than no hope.
And is there any particular purpose for it?
Oh, I just, there's a thing that I've lost, and, well, I'm having some trouble recovering it. And there are certain people who are kind of on my case, so I was maybe wondering if she would be able to help me make a little illusion, just to keep them off my back for a while.
Ah, I could possibly help you with that. I'm not sure I could do too much, but...
Oh, that would be great. Except it's a very special object, and, well, it's gonna take a lot more than I think a basic illusion to fool the people, so... Well, we'll see what happens.
Yes, we'll have to think about that one.
Okay. As you move on along the path, you can see Fensholt growing larger in the distance. You see the grey shape of the stone keep within the city walls, town walls rather. You make your way in through the west gate, and yeah, where do you want to go in town?
I want to go to see the blokey bloke who gave us this mission as...
Okay, so
like-
you're heading to the court, the inner court.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was it? I'm trying to remember what his name was. Because we talked to Baron Cortland, didn't we?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So
Your way there leads you up the Artisan's Promenade, past all these shops where these master craftsmen sell their wares, and it actually leads you straight towards the Stone Keep, which is here. As you pass by, you see Veerworthy, who explained the details of the quest. Roland Veerworthy is sitting out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go and talk to him.
Ah, wonderful. Let's hand him this, don't we?
Huh.
As he
Veerworthy.
sees you approach and goes, "You're actually back. You actually went in, and you got out."
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, yes.
Actually, we found someone on the way, too.
Don't
Yeah, they got
recommend
us.
it as a holiday destination.
Yeah, no kidding. Are you what? You found her in the Veil of Sadness?
I was in a plant.
She was in a plant.
But I don't see Razzle with you.
That's the complicated part.
Razzle is... We apprehended her, but she escaped. We've no idea what was up with her. She seemed to be under some kind of charm or ensorcelment. We've got the stone, though. That's the most important thing.
Oh,
We're going to
great, give
restock
it here.
and then go back and try to find her.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Give me the stone.
Yes. Brand shuffles around in his pack a bit, reduces stone.
Hang on, insight check.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check on this guy. Yep.
He seems a little bit grabby.
Does he? Ah.
Yeah, come on, he seems like he's totally in a rush to, like, get us to give him the stone. I don't, like... Where's insight gone? There it
He
is.
slowly puts it back into the bag.
Oh, I have a +5 and I...
So, Tell, you remain suspicious of this guy suddenly. Meanwhile, Auric, he's on the level.
Okay.
He just wants to get his guys out of the Stone Keep, you realise.
I have no means of relaying this information. I just wanted to
Yes,
know.
apparently that's true.
Oh,
Well,
great.
I guess
The
Brand's
guy
gotta
who
take a
knows
look at
what's
this
going
himself.
on is the guy who can't talk.
Yeah. Now that Tell has said this to you, suddenly you seem rather suspicious. But, I mean, he is standing in front of the Stone Keep. He's right next to the door. There are a couple of other guards around him.
Alright, well, let's just
Yeah.
stand up the stone, I guess.
Yeah, Brand, so yeah, you hesitate for a moment as Tell says this, but you just slap the stone into his palm and said, "Thank you, bloody hell." And he turns the stone in front of his eye. He's like looking for the correct face on this thing. And he runs a finger down one side. And you see arcane script glow forth from within the crystal as he does this. And suddenly the front door of the keep rumbles open behind him. And a couple of
thank God it
pale,
wasn't fake.
sweating guards come out. Yeah, nothing bad happens at all.
Phew.
Yeah. The guards outside had a bunch of food ready for these guys and water. And so, yeah, they stumble out gasping and, yeah, very gratefully begin tucking in. Veerworthy turns back to you guys and says, "Ah, God, thank you. Thank you. You've done a good job here. God, I can't believe you made it out. And don't worry about Razzle, Christ." He doesn't say Christ, he said God's above and below. She'll turn up sooner or later. So she's still there in the Veil of Sadness.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, she actually made off with some of my purse.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. That's her way. What'd she do to get away from you?
Some kind of... I don't know. I was carrying... You would not believe what happened. We found her, she was sobbing and holding this log as if it was a child. And then we so I picked her up and ran out of the forest with her, and then a tiger leapt at me, and then she jumped off, turned invisible, and ran into the forest.
Well, yeah,
Hate
that's
this
her way.
magical bullshit. Why does magical bullshit always happen to me?
You and me both, mate.
Speaking of which, Brand takes the log out from his bag and just chucks it away somewhere.
Yeah. It just tumbles down a nearby alleyway. It seems to be just a piece of wood.
He is very annoyed.
Just a box.
Yes. Yeah,
Gilly
you
feels kind of
paid
sad
for
to see
that.
it go.
Trees, roots, and grass, what did we expect?
Indeed, indeed. You did pay 30 gold for that log.
Not worth it.
So,
Well-
yeah, Veerworthy makes sure that his men are set up well, and he just claps you on the back, Tell, because you were the one talking with him, and says, "Thank you. I can't tell you how much this helps us out. I'm going to go and put in a good word for you with the Baron. Do you want to come with? Tell him that you succeeded?"
Yeah, let's go and try to make nice with the local lord, I guess.
Yes.
Fancy.
No reason not to.
Sure. And the other guards around there just kind of voice their thanks, and you see some of them carting like food and water in for the prisoners as well as you walk off. So
Gilly
you
kind of
walk-
surreptitiously slips them a little packet of tea so they can make tea.
Nice. Yeah. They take it gratefully. They do have a large tea kettle sitting there nearby, so yep, it looks like the prisoners and or guards will be happy for that.
Gilly,
So-
the neighborhood tea dealer.
Nice. Her jacket is just full of packets of tea.
Just a kid. You want to buy some chamomile?
What are you buying, stranger?
Khajiit has many wares. if you have coin.
It's really herb. She is selling herb.
Yeah, that is, in fact, herb.
So, okay, you make your way through the town and walk down this main thoroughfare towards the inner court. As you reach there, you are ushered in by the court guard, these guys in their yellow silk over their armor. And let's move you over to the court. So,
Okay.
Woo!
yeah.
We are.
So, yeah. I'll move Glamsy, who's actually Milia, back there, and the Baron up here. So, yes.
It's just Glamsy in a really bad disguise.
And Glamsy as Milia. And, like, you get, like, an 80s, like, you know, freeze frame of her face.
Glamsy could totally be like an 80s movie star.
Yeah.
As you're walking back, on the way there...
we need Gilly's token.
Oh, yeah, I've vanished.
Yeah,
Where am I?
true. Give me a second. Just need to whisper something to someone.
I've stopped existing!
Yay, whispering. Don't worry, you're just a little behind outside the court.
Gilly's back stuck in the plant.
Yes.
She's just a little slower than everyone else right now. It's the looks.
She's demonstrating to the guards the proper and correct way to brew tea.
I'm trying to remember how the whisper thing works.
/W.
That's right.
And then my name. And if it's working, then you should see my name like popping up at the bottom.
Yep, or it could be /WGM.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do need a space after the W, though. I don't know how important that is.
Just to demonstrate for the stream chat to be like this. Hey.
Secret.
I just
Secret,
said hey to Alex,
secret.
that's all. Secret.
So yes, the whispering continues.
The whispering
Oh,
intensifies.
whispering.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Intense whispering.
Brand just takes a moment in bullet time to read his book.
So it's like, and everyone's just standing around kind of spamming emotes. Hello! Hello!
Hello. Oh, is this the Dark Souls?
Welcome to the gun show.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's what you're talking about. I was thinking like the Dark Souls friggin' like the carvings.
Well, you can spam emotes in like lots of games.
I'm sorry. Hello. Very good.
Yes.
Okay,
So this is
Tal
to the
suddenly
person. Right.
looks up and then sort of just decides to hang, sort of hangs back a moment while the rest of you are walking forward.
Oh, great.
And is kind of muttering to herself in Celestial again.
Yeah, those that listen hear these sing-song whispers with the kind of cadence of bells ringing coming from Tel beneath the scarves.
Ren just sort of gives a look back and adjusts his glasses nervously. He's kind of wondering what's happening here.
I want to be able to copy this.
It's too quiet for you to be able to, unfortunately.
Aww.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah. If you rolled a little bit better, then maybe, but no,
That's
it's
fair.
just too quiet. Yeah.
No bird step today.
Indeed.
I love the fact that he would learn to say something that he doesn't understand.
Yep.
So it's just like...
I've listened to
See?
enough Japanese music to know how that works.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I considered not letting this character know common.
Yep.
That would have been the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Brand rumbles with the sound of the earth as he sort of considers things. It's a calming habit.
Hmm.
All right. Tel's gonna step in line with everyone else and go. Okay, let's get this done quickly. We've got more business to attend to.
Ah, certainly. Well, you first.
So, okay, as you come into the court, the Baron is dealing with somebody else, and he dismisses them and sees Veerworthy come in. I'm just using a random guard for Veerworthy here. Veerworthy just strides right up to the dais, steps up onto it, and says, "My lord, you're not going to believe this, but they did it. They actually brought back the Lockstone." And Cortland is like, "And
Bow.
okay, you bow. The rest of you are just hanging back. What's going on?"
Brand takes a moment to catch on, and then he takes a knee.
Yeah.
Okay, there's
Or
some
minutes.
bowing being done.
Yes, bowing.
Great.
Ceremony, etc.
Gilly kind
Gilly,
of
how
awkwardly
about you?
curtsies.
Nice.
She's not very good at it,
So-
but she kind of nearly trips over her own feet.
Baron Cortland hears this and says, "Excellent. And what of Miss Dazelle?" Veerworthy goes,
I'm afraid we're still on the trail of Razzle, if that's who you're talking about.
yes. You found the stone, but not her?
Well, we found her, apprehended her, and unfortunately she used a bit of trickery to escape.
Well, that's what she's famous
But
for.
she's still in the forest, so...
She's still in the forest. And, well, she'll turn up sooner or later. She always does. She can't seem to resist coming in here and, plying her trade.
Justice always catches up with those who do evil.
You're here.
I certainly hope that's true. But we're very grateful for what you've done here. I trust that Veerworthy already paid you the remaining reward?
Yet.
Veerworthy
No, not
looks a little bit nervous, shrinks a little as you admit this, and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, my lord, I must have forgotten. 50 gold each, was it?"
Yes, I do believe so.
And he hands out 50 gold each
Was
to
it-
the four
was
of you
it
who
50?
agreed.
Gold?
Yes.
It was 100 up front and then 50 gold on completion.
Okay.
Sadly, Brand's
Be
not
with-
really.
Sorry,
the profitable type.
it's been like half a day for Tell, but it's been a week for me.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Alright.
So,
Um,
Veerworthy
my
hands
lord-
out gold to all of you except Gilly.
Hey! How comes I don't get paid? I'll have you know that I took down a skeleton very efficiently.
Well, maybe
I'll-
they'll give you
I'll-
some of their
I'll-
gold.
I'll give you some gold later.
Oric hands his bag over and says, in Elvish, although you may not be able to understand, we do not require worldly possessions.
Well, that's not really
Oh my
fair.
god, what?
Does Gilly speak Elvish?
No.
Okay.
I took an elf.
No one
I
speaks
say
Elvish.
some gibberish in a guy's voice and hand you the gold.
Well, that's not really fair though, because, well, you all agreed to have your gold, and you shouldn't have to pay for me out of your gold. It's only fair and square that I get at least a little payment, not from you, but from the people who I've done a service to. You guys saved my life. You don't owe me anything.
That's not how contracts work. We'll settle this later, my lord. There is a more pressing matter I had in mind. The guards who were sent out earlier.
Yes,
They
yes.
Have they returned yet?
I haven't heard any reports. Thalios, have you heard anything from them? And Thalios Main, the tiefling captain of the guard, says, "They've only been gone 6 hours.
6 hours?
6, 7, yeah.
I guess the question is, how far away is their destination?
Yes. Could you tell us where the cave in which the fish people live is located?
Yes, we can tell you. It's a little difficult to find without a guide.
Do you have a
Is
guide?
it possible?
You wish to go out there? I would ask that you not intrude in their negotiations.
I have no intention of intruding in negotiations. I just want to make sure that they're well.
Fair enough, fair enough. And, okay. Thalios, find someone who can guide these people out to the fish chasm. And Thalios kind of grumbles and goes over and starts talking to these guards. Baron Cortland, in the meantime, says, and Mr. Snagglethorn, step forth if you would.
Of course. He walks up to the platform.
I've been very glad of the service that you and your retinue have done for us. And here, take this. And he hands you a scroll with his seal that basically grants you access to the town. You can show this to guards. And it's a kind of just a seal of approval for your movement freely throughout the town. And this, he explains, it can be used in the surrounding towns as well, villages and whatnot. You have the Baron's approval to have free reign throughout this area of the land.
He takes the scroll and puts it into his bag and says, "Thank you, sire. We thank you for the kindness in appealing to our needs."
Thank you. I approve of people who keep their promises.
Bren clears his throat quietly and sort of scoots up behind Digger to nudge him. The letter. Maybe that also?
Ah, yes. And Digger reaches into his bag to produce the key and says, "May we see the letter?" After
yes,
having
indeed.
completed. Yes.
By all means, come with me. And he guides you quickly into his study, and you use the key, get the letter out. It appears untouched. The seal is still intact. Yeah.
Alright, so he'll take the letter then, and hand back the key.
You'll be wanting someone to show you the way out to Wattage's Tower, I suppose.
Yes, that would be lovely.
I actually believe we may be able to kill two birds with one stone. And he looks over at Thalios, who is talking with a female guard over here, who's looking at you and rolling her eyes very dramatically. She's quite burly. She has thick-fingered hands, quite calloused and rough.
Ooh.
As they finish talking, Thalios just kind of sniggers to himself and leans back against the wall. And the guard comes up to you and says, "Oh my gods above and below. So I'm to guide you out of the fish chasm, am I?"
It would appear so.
Ah, yes. Well, I guess that's our destination, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
That would be very nice.
But I really would implore the rest of you. It's not quite appropriate, but we're all quite trodden out by this point, aren't we? Brand looks a little tested. He's been walking about for quite a while, and he's actually quite tired at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm exhausted too, but 6 hours and not come back from the fish caverns? We can't just leave them there.
The guard here says, "So they went out on horseback. That'll be nearly 2 hours getting out there. Yeah, they've only been there a few hours. It'd be about now they'd come back. They're not even late."
We need to rest, but I don't know. Look, don't ask me how I know, but they're in trouble, alright?
Well, Brent's just going to take a second, because he is quite tired, so he has to decide. Really? Oof.
So what are you insight checking?
Attempting to see if Tell is, or trying to discern if she really, like, what's the word? If she's pushing herself too hard, or if she's, like, actually has some hint of danger.
Well, with that roll, you've not gained much insight into anything. Yeah.
All you see is just scarves and a hood and a visor.
Scarves and mystery.
He looks a little weary and just sort of shrugs.
I know, I'm tired too, but...
So, Cortland looks a little bit tired of you guys at this point and says, "Very well, that's decided. Miss Wainwright, if you'll accompany them out there, I believe you know the password for Wattage's Tower today. Is that correct? And the big woman nods. We go, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I guess we're off on the road again.
Can
Right.
Again.
Yes.
Gilly pretends to know what's going on. She's going to follow me quietly, but she has no idea what's happening.
Make a deception check. Okay. You see this halfling rubbing her chin, going, in a very obvious display of not having a clue of what's going on.
Oh, hang on. I gotta see if... Nope.
No,
He's convinced.
Brand.
No, she
Yep.
seems pretty convincing.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
You're surprised at the deep insights that this halfling is having into the situation. Meanwhile, Tell is not fooled in the least. So, okay, we will finish up there for today. Choices,
Yeah.
choices.
Choices.
Oh god, I'm all out of spell slots, and it's just like, no, tell stop.
There's no rest for the wicked.
There's no rest for the wicked awesome. Just
A lot of walking. A lot of walking. We'll never be free.
So, with that, thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll be back again
thanks for
next
watching,
week.
everyone.